Let's talk that ocean. Talk to me. Let's talk.
Let's talk about the podcast. Make some noise. If you tired of niggas fronting, let's talk about it. If you tired of bitches getting over on niggas, let's talk about it, man. It's the podcast. We talk about everything, man. It's the boy Buddha.
What's going on, man? Showtime in the building.
And we got a special guest, man. Special claw. Special guest, my boy DEMETRiUS, man.
Good.
Yeah, what's going on, man? Happy to be here with you brothers, man.
Yeah, same here, man.
We got a good interview today.
Yeah, man. I ain't gonna front it. We back at it, son. Like last week was type crazy, but we back at it, man.
We was in here.
Had a few
Couldn't get it right.
Yeah,
now we
got
here.
it right now.
Look, make sure y'all tune in, man. It's a lot to learn from,
Yeah,
this brother's story.
One,
so everybody tap in, get your snacks, get everything ready, and tune in to a powerful episode
take a shot
today.
with a nigga.
So
let's get right into it, man. Where you from, man?
From Brooklyn, New York.
Okay.
Yeah.
How was your childhood growing up, man? Like,
My childhood, man. I mean, it carries on in all boroughs, really. Because my mom, she originally from the Bronx.
from the Bronx, what part?
South Bronx.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Now we in the
I don't know a lot about
Bronx
the Bronx.
right now.
I know about Tracy Towers. High Bridge. I don't really know about the Bronx.
Now we in the South Bronx right now.
And my pops was from Brooklyn, Howard
Okay.
Projects.
Oh, Howard, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
my grandparents and all that. So I had a little bit of Howard Projects, a little bit of South Bronx, a little
The
bit
Browns fan, you.
I'm
Howard,
all
the
over.
Browns fan. You gotta
Yeah.
watch you, my brother.
Now,
Yeah, Brownsville do got a little grimy reputation.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, man.
Brooklyn, man.
I don't even go to Brownsville.
I'm from Harlem, but my pops from East New York too. So
fact,
I'm
East.
half Brooklyn
But I
too.
basically grew up in Flatbush.
Okay,
Okay.
Flatbush.
Flatbush, yeah.
As far as education, how far you took it?
Oh, I got my diploma.
Okay.
What's
I got my diploma. That's one thing I did do,
What
I
high
did
school
that-
you went to?
Oh, man, I went to a few high schools, but I got my diploma at, it was Hostess Community College.
Oh, okay.
Little program there. Yeah, that I got my diploma.
All right.
So how was it growing up, like in Flatbush in the Bronx? And for me, how was it growing up?
Oh, man. Back then.
Yeah, back then.
In the 80s, 70s, 80s. Mad recession going on
Crack
in New
ever.
York, man. Plenty vacant lots, stray dogs running
East
around.
New York. It's East New York.
Yeah. All,
Gotta paint that picture.
yeah, burnt out buildings,
Okay.
okay. So that's what I was seeing growing up. Dope fiends on 125th, because I had my grandparents, they lived in Harlem.
Okay.
All right.
So I'd be in Harlem sometimes.
So you had a whole, the whole New York City a little bit
Yeah,
inside.
that's
you.
what I
the
say.
pot.
I was all over. I was all over this city, man. Even Queens.
Oh, what part of Queens?
Because Jamaica, Queens.
Okay.
Bristol Hotel.
Okay,
I remember the red carpet in the hotel and all
Wow.
that. Because my uncle, may rest in peace. He passed away not too long ago. He was in the game. So he had me with him on certain nights in the Bristol Hotel, doing what he was doing. And that was a lot of, I was exposed to a whole lot.
Around what age was that?
That had to be around 9, 10, around that age.
It's early.
My mother grew up. She had 4 brothers. 3
No
of them.
sisters?
Well, her sister wasn't really around
Okay.
like that, but I know my aunt Carol.
All right. Shout out to Carol.
Shout outs to Aunt Carol.
Okay.
She was around. That was the better side. that was the more humble side. But getting back to my uncles, that's where a lot of my exposure. I was exposed to a lot dealing with those dudes, man.
Like to the streets and all that?
Yeah.
So you grew up like in a 2-parent household?
Nah, my pops was around up until the time I was 6.
Okay, what happened?
Yeah, he had a bit of a drug problem.
Yeah, back then, I already know.
Yeah, he had a bit of a drug problem. He tried to be there, but when an addiction overpowers you, that's what it is.
Dang.
And
So like, what you think was the biggest challenge? Like when you started to realize your pops wasn't being as consistent, how did that start to affect you?
the thing that I remember the most is I had a birthday, right? Saved up my money because I always liked money. So, people gave me money. I had my little bank, tucked my money away. My pops came to me, said, let me borrow, I had $60 I saved up. $60 back then in the 70s, that was like a lot of money for a little kid and all that. So he was like, let me borrow that. My pops, got love for him. Don't expect him to do any harm. Here, take the money. Never saw the money again. Damn. So that sticks out to me. That was kind of like something that stole my innocence at a young age, where it woke you up to kind of like the evil that men do, whether it's conscious or, unconscious.
Damn, son.
It's real. Even us, like, our pops passed at a young age,
young
what I
age.
mean? I was 8 years old at the time. My pops got gunned down.
I was 4 or 5. Yeah, I was a baby.
I feel like the effects, even me working in the school, was like, one day in the class, I did a little activity, and I was like, raise your hand if your father is like still in your life. And as a teacher, sometimes that's not a thing that a lot of teachers would do, because it's like it could create a lot of friction in the classroom, especially in the profession. Yeah. But because of where I come from, I'm like, nah, I'm here for a reason. But it was like 2 hands that went up, and I was like, it was just shocked to see, like, yo, this thing is still going on. Like, it don't matter if 70s, 80s, 90s. We in the 2023, and it's still the same, effect going on. Like, a lack of black fathers in the home, man. So I hope that, as time progresses, it gets better.
It's like a ripple effect, man. Mm-hmm. It's like a ongoing ripple effect.
What you think is the cause of that?
You have the same elements. You have the drug addictions. You have those who are selling drugs. You have those who go to jail for doing, selling, robbing to get drugs. They get these lengthy sentences. So what can they do? How can they be fathers when they're away in the cell and they're not hands-on?
That's a fact. That's a fact. But you could call, you could write a letter, you still could be there. But some dudes don't, Some dudes don't, you know what I mean? But niggas just trying though, man. People trying. So I said, you just gotta work with them.
You got and children, they could be cruel.
Nah, yeah.
They find out your pops is locked down. They like,
your
dad in jail.
You.
They tease you and all that. Fact. So you could start to despise your pops just for that alone. Like, damn, you left me out here, and now I'm getting teased because you doing time.
But they used to hold it down back in the day. Cause I remember back in the day, people was like, "Oh, like your father's in school now." The kids like, "Nah, he in jail." I'm like, "Oh my god!" Like, dang, it's just crazy, man.
I got a few kids I work with, and they say the same thing. Yeah. Like, I do my own like little mentoring program, and I got one kid who that's what his mom's told him about his pops. Like, yeah, he in school. Yeah. But he came to me and he was telling me like, "Yo, I know he's not in school, man. I don't know," but he was basically saying, I take it from my mom because I don't want to let her know. He only 11, but he like, I don't want to let her know that I know. So he just be like, yeah, okay, but he understand. So I'm like, it's with social media and everything going on right now, I feel like you got to keep it real with these kids and let them know. You know what I mean?
You don't want to let them know, and then he how you say go to school and people tease him, and then he start lashing out. You feel me? So you just got to keep that, like, you feel me? Let's let the kid be a kid. I feel like don't let him know about that. He in school.
I don't know. I feel like, when we talk about ego and all that, I feel like that'd be the start of the breakdown of ego, because it's like, I feel like if those kids know at a young age, maybe that could be the motivation and for them to be like, I don't want to take this route. When they start seeing other people being bad in school, when they start seeing their friends, like even for me, pops getting killed made me like look at everybody that was in the streets like, I don't want to do that. Because my mom never sugarcoated it. She told me, like, your pops, he was dancing, he was doing his thing, but he also had this other side where he was in the streets. And because she exposed me to that, when I started getting older and I started seeing everything that was going on around me, I was able to be like, I'm good. Only because she ain't hold that back. I'm like, I feel like that's what my pops was doing, and that's what made him, ultimately demise. So I was like, I don't want to do that.
But you still gotta let a kid be a kid, I feel like. Because, like, kids want to be grown anyway now. So, like, I mean, like, you telling them grown people stuff, and then they going, So I just feel like my opinion is let a kid be a kid. When he come home, he get back to society, back to his life, and everything good, man.
It actually, my upbringing and being exposed to what I was exposed to, it kind of had the same effect that you saying it had on you. Being that you saw that going on and you saw the outcomes, you didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do that either. But as I walked through life as a younger child, I was being like, things were happening where I kind of like was the victim on 2 or 3 occasions. And me, I was always a fighter, you know. Like I didn't like to be abused, talked about, anything like that. So it was either fight or flight with me. And in fighting, I just became like, I succumbed to what I was trying to get away from.
Wow.
You know?
So let's break down that story then. Like,
how was you, for me, like when you was a kid? Like, how was you? You was a kid, was you?
Man, my moms was the greatest moms, man. I can't fault my moms whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? My moms was all about uplifting the people. She come from that era where it was the Malcolms and where the black men was standing up and trying to speak out, for some justice, trying to say that, hey, we black, we strong. She comes from that era, that whole black power, black pride and all that. So she instilled that in me. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And she wanted more for me. So she would expose me to tell me to take art lessons, play the violin, try to expose me to those things. And for a minute, I dabbled in those things. But it was the environment that I was in. Look at you playing the violin on Saturday morning. I'm going to violin classes at Brooklyn College. I'm going to acting classes. But the kids I'm with, they going to the corner store trying to steal chips and ices and
that's good though, man. She had you in activities and stuff, man. So you
always the environment though.
Like to any sports? You was into any sports?
Yeah, I was always athletic, man. So, I like to play basketball, football, all of that. Okay, but as far as being on a team, nah, at that time in New York, that wasn't really going on where they had, that's more like I always say this, it's like a down south thing. Like they organized that a little better with the sports fields. And it's in the city, it's not really.
They changed it though now
it's getting better. But you're right though, because in the South, even the middle schools, they be having big fields and stadium
they got
type
big fields and all that.
You're only in 8th grade, Yeah, that's crazy. That's true though.
So if you were doing on your off time, in the summertime, what you were doing when you was a kid, you doing the Fresh Air Fun, when you were doing summer camp?
Yeah, I went to the Fresh Air Fun. And that actually changed my life.
Me
man.
too.
That changed my life, man. That opened me up to a different culture. You know what I'm saying? A different type of acceptance. Like I went to Vermont, and the people that I went away to, I stayed for 2 weeks. They liked me so much because you're only supposed to get one trip to that family. Then somebody else is supposed to get a turn. They wanted me back. They liked me so much that they wanted me back. So they became like family to me. And they were civil rights lawyers, Harvard graduates, and all of that. So I was exposed to all types of, upscale, riding in Porsches, swimming pools at the office and all of that. But that was my balance back then. That was the balance for me.
And that's what we be needing, though, exposure. That's even now, that's the biggest key to if you someone in the trenches and your family, they not wealthy or they don't have all the things that it takes to get a kid to expand his horizons. Yeah. You gotta have, the exposure. You all who you around.
Yeah.
I ain't front. For me, some Fresh Air Fun for me. I went there, learned how to swim. I ride in jet skis, 4-wheelers. People in my neighborhood don't know how to swim. Jet ski.
I didn't know how to swim when I went there.
They
matter of fact, I almost drowned in the lake. They taught me how to swim.
They taught me how to swim.
They said, you don't know how to swim? We gonna teach you. They taught me how to swim.
I was coming back every summer.
Yeah.
Me and Leak was coming back for me. Me and my brother. First Leak went, and then they called back for me the second time. That I started going ever since. And s'mores, sleeping outside, camping outside. I ain't gonna
salute the Fresh Air Fun.
Yeah, Fresh Air Fun.
Fresh Air Fun. It was that program. I don't know if they still have it, But if they don't have it,
I don't hear nobody talking about
they
that.
need to
no
bring
more.
it back.
Yeah,
If they don't have it, they need to bring it back.
I feel like people now I don't think the world is as
everybody want to be fake.
as more.
Everybody want to be
as
fake
before.
woke. They want to be fake woke. No, no, for me.
I don't know nobody, my kids going, people that they don't know and all that.
Yeah,
That,
I
so,
understand, but just gotta,
So at what point, you know what I mean? Now it sounds like, you had nice upbringing, your mom was holding you down, fresh air funds, being exposed to a lot of different things. At what point did it, get a little rocky for you?
Yeah.
I would say in school, it started to get a little rocky, because like I said, you run into different characters. You run into people who didn't experience different cultures, So they may not be eating like you're eating at home. They may not have the same type of attire to wear that you have. And you see things, people trying to take. Because when I came up, you get thrown in the dope fiend for your sneaks. They put you to sleep for your sneakers and all that.
They take a nigga
I
polo
used to
coats
see that
back then.
Yeah, I used to see that. You have your fresh, your sheepskin, your sheepdog that you got off of Delancey Street, and you got to worry about somebody hunting you for your coat. So when you see people getting robbed and stuff like that, like I said, it was a fight or flight, and I've always been a fighter, so I'm not going to let you do anything to me. So you start arming yourself. Back then when I was coming up, it was about the knife. You got the 007 knife, you flicking it out.
007.
You practice flicking it out. Somebody step to me, you going, you don't want to do anybody harm, but you don't want to be harmed. So that's when things started to change. Your innocence was, it's like it's taken.
Damn, man. I can relate to that though. For me, so we all been through that though. You all been through that. Yeah, how you said, man, you gonna be fooled or you got to put on.
I was coming from Flatbush I switched 4th grade. That's when it really started. I was good up until like 4th grade. Started taking the B6 bus from Flatbush all the way to East New York. First day I get into the school, PS 306, right off of Pennsylvania Ave. I get into a fight. I had to duff the school bully out in the schoolyard.
At least you had to duff him out.
Yeah.
A lot of people ain't get to that point.
Yeah.
They was getting bullied.
I'm on top of the school bully, pounding him out in the schoolyard. Because he told me he was going to beat me up after school.
Damn, man, you just
That's real.
that should just be crazy, man. Like, me growing up, like I never really got bullied, but like the older dudes just on the front, and I had to, call my uncle one time, and after that, like I turned like 9, 10, I started pouncing out the older dudes. Me and my brother, we started jumping them.
Yeah.
For me. I mean, everybody go through that though. It's just life, man. But like, I don't know. I hate bullies though. I don't like bullies though. Me personally, I don't like them. That shit. Come on.
And I wasn't going to be bullied.
Yeah, like
I didn't want any problems. I was just coming to school.
Damn. All right. So what age was that?
4th grade is like what? How old are you in 4th?
That's like 9.
Yeah, around that time. That's when I was being exposed to a whole lot.
So how was your like mid teens? Like you like 14, 13? Like how was that?
Oh man, I was hanging out. By
That's
that
when
time.
you like.
I was actually getting into clubs in New York City at 13, 14.
A little bit.
Tell us about that. Tell us
You know about the
that.
tunnel?
Yeah. I was in the Palladium. I was in the Tunnel.
Uh-huh.
I was in all of those clubs. I was in Union Square, where Brooklyn was known for wilding out on people if you wasn't from Brooklyn.
What about the rooftop?
Spots. Rooftop. I was uptown. After the rooftop, you go to the S&S social spot where you gamble and shoot dice.
Okay. All right, man. Tell us the experience about the rooftop, about all that. Tell us the experience about the tunnel, all that.
Well, rooftop, you know Harlem. They give
I'm
flying.
from Brooklyn, though.
They fly,
I'm from Brooklyn,
They
though. I don't know
flying
about
flamboyant. You know how that go. So you got the kitted up cars, the Jettas, the Suzuki Samurai Jeeps at that time. Everybody spinning the block. They playing the music.
So the paid in full
Classic
aspect
days.
was like really real like that. Like the paid in full was like that real like that? Like,
How they
like
painted
people
that
driving,
picture?
yeah, like driving
Yeah,
through,
that was a
throwing
real,
money in the air.
that was a
shit
real,
like
that was a real depiction. I ain't never see nobody throwing money
Oh
in the
yeah,
air.
nigga, I was step
You
on
know,
that shit.
yeah, I ain't see nobody really throwing money in the air. Maybe in the club they might have threw money in the air, but Harlem back then, I think, like I said, it was a drug culture, and the wild thing is back then, when you was sniffing cocaine, you was considered, you was balling.
Yeah, so
That's
because
crazy.
cocaine was like
Yeah.
weed, right, back then.
Like
right?
if you had money to spend on coke, you know, they crush up the coke in $100 bill, and they sit there and sniff. I was never sniffing.
But everybody used to
But,
do that back then, right? It seemed like back then, like that was like fake, like acceptable, like you know,
Yeah,
like
it was
the thing?
accepted back then. Like I said, it was
Okay,
like
okay.
a status symbol because you had Studio 54. You know, you had the celebrities doing it. You know, that's when they talked about Whitney Houston was doing it. They said Bobby ain't turned Whitney out.
Yeah,
Whitney
that's
turned Bobby out. That's
Yeah,
what they were
that's
saying. May they both rest. I mean, may Whitney rest
Yeah,
in peace.
rest in peace.
You know, I don't want to talk about it in a bad way.
Yeah.
But that's the
People be
story,
doing that,
man. That's
though.
the story.
Yeah,
You gotta,
yeah.
man. That's the story. No.
They had Whitney on reality TV going crazy.
So what was your transition though? Just like to jump into the streets, like when you Philly went full blown into it.
I was out there. I was exposed to the shoot. I was like the little dude who was cool, didn't say much, was kind of serious, and the older dudes didn't mind having me around. You know, because I always liked to dress. I was known for dressing. You know, so I was always a fly dude.
Good Versace on.
Yeah, no doubt.
Gone.
Yeah,
I see you.
No doubt.
I see you.
So they like, yo, I like dude right here. So that's what kind of pulled me in, you know, because them liking me and them pulling me closer, you know, it wasn't like I was a follower, but I was just automatically accepted.
Okay.
So when I saw them winning at what they was doing, it gave me ideas.
I won in.
So what was your first like first thing, like what, or like your first pack, like what was your first, you know, like started getting money in the streets, like what was your
Well, you know, I like I said, 13, 14, I was hanging out late. My moms wasn't having it. Like I said, my moms was a hardworking woman. She wasn't with that. I was rebellious. Young man.
you always
You're a boy. You don't have
Yeah, you
your
always
father
like that.
around. You kind of, it's natural for a boy to hear a man's voice giving him some type of guidance and direction. I think naturally we're more prone to take heed to a man and humble ourselves.
yeah.
When it's a woman, you can love, you know, you love your moms and all that, but we little boys, we explore.
Yeah, that's a fact.
So no matter what she's telling us, how it's gonna go wrong or whatever, we still want to explore. And that's where I was at with it. I wanted to explore. I wanted to explore the nightlife of New York City. I wanted to explore the clubs. I like the music. So I sneak out the house, you know.
Who you used to listen to back in the day? You talk about music. Who you used to listen to back in the day, like when you was coming up?
Oh, man. Grandmaster Flash,
Classic.
Africa Bambaataa,
BX.
you know, and Run DMC,
Yeah, Run DMC.
LL,
Okay.
you know, all of that came out, man.
What about Big Daddy Kane and
Kane, Rakim.
Yeah, I'm about to say Rakim too.
Yeah, Rakim, Cool G Rap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. So what was your experience like? All right. So when you was hustling, like, was you going OT? Where you was at with it? You was like,
Well, in the beginning, I was selling a little weed. Everybody didn't know. I was selling my weed in junior high school. You know, I was selling my weed in junior high school. I had a little messenger job. I cut out from school, junior high school, and then I go to the city, do my little messenger job. But all of that,
Hey, what's that? The messenger job.
when you take packages or you deliver stuff to office buildings
Okay.
or to wherever, you know. I had a job as working for a lady. She was actually from France. And I used to deliver airline tickets to different businesses. So that was something that kind of exposed me to wanting more too, because I look at these tickets, I'm like, yo, they flying away to, you know, they going to Jamaica, they going here,
Need
they
that.
going there, and I'm up in these office buildings delivering these tickets, and everything is looking upscale. So I'm like, yo, this is money right here. You know, I want to experience this one day. I want to take a trip. So your imagination start, you know, running wild. You want that. You in Midtown Manhattan, you seeing the stores, you seeing Saks Fifth Ave, you seeing Gucci, you seeing Louis. You know, you want that. So it's true what they say. New York will inspire you to want more, man.
Yeah.
You know,
Lights.
Yeah, so you just doing it by yourself, or you had like a team with you? You had your team, you just doing it like Dolly at first hustling.
I was always like a I was dolo, man.
Moved
I
Dolo
really
from state to state.
really ain't like a team. I really ain't like
feel
being
you, I feel
around a
you,
lot
yeah.
of dudes, man. You know, like I attracted the ladies. You know, I was always they'd be like, oh, you know. So my company was the women.
Okay.
You know, my company was the women.
As you should, man.
Yeah,
That's how
my
you
company
gotta
was the
roll. Like
women,
nowadays, it's all gang. Nah,
Yeah, I never really wanted to be around a bunch of dicks, man. That's not a good time for me, man.
For
You
what?
know?
It's all gang. Yeah. So like, all right. So let's talk about leading up to your situation, like your case. So let's walk us through that.
Well, it was a lot that happened. Did I mention the fact I was in a group home?
Nah, you didn't mention that.
Yeah, I was in a group home, man.
How that
You
happen?
know, I had a clash with my mother's husband. You know, like I said, I was rebellious. You know, at the time, I wanted what I wanted. I wasn't taking no for an answer. I was trying to explore. So anybody that came in between that was kind of like the enemy. And that was my mother's husband at one time. He tried to step up. Good man. Man, he rest in peace. He just passed away. That was my dude. You know, very good man. Nothing bad to say about him. And I was just a kid that was rebellious. And we clashed. And one day when we clashed, it came to blows.
Damn.
You know, and like I said, I was a fighter. And I was, you know,
Yeah.
it went down. And the cops came and fighting the cops.
Damn.
You know, I fought the cops. Yeah, 2 cops. And I was kind of getting the best of them. Like, you know, because when my adrenaline is pumping,
Yeah.
I'm a whole
You're a
different
young boy.
individual. Yeah.
The black man is God too. You feel me?
So I wound up being put in a group home. The one group home was right across the street from Brooklyn House. Soon as I go in there, you know, it's kind of like a jail environment. The TV is caged in. They got a pool table. You know, no books, nothing like that. You know, who got next on the pool table? Not you. You know, what you mean?
Not
What
you.
do you mean, not me? You know, so right
There you
then
go.
I'm ready to fight.
Yeah,
like I said, I was a fighter. So they was like, nah, shorty, yo, we just playing. Been through a few group homes, and I was fighting in those group homes. And like you said, your experience, you become what you experience.
Yeah.
You know, so
DMX.
it's like I was in gladiator school kind of early. You know, I got hit in the head with a pool cue. You know, I came in one group home in Far Rockaway on Beach. I believe it was like Beach 64th Street. As soon as I come in there, they were like, well, yo, what you looking at? Because that was a big thing back in New York back in the days. Like you stay at somebody the wrong way, like, yo, who you looking at? Yo, what's up, Playboy? You know me from somewhere? You know, that's how it was. Ignorant, but that's what it was. That's what the culture was back then.
That's
and
crazy.
like I said, I'm looking at you, what? And we fought.
There you go.
And I got out on them. So at that point, I rocked myself to sleep. Cause I'm like, I'm new here, first day.
Yeah.
I serve my man up something nice. You know, I go across the street, I'm feeling myself. Once again, it always come down to a pool table or something. You know, I like to play pool. So I'm like, who got next on the pool table? Once again, he's like, not you. I was like, yeah, all right. I turned my back, dude blindsided me with a pool cue. Come to find out, that was his man that I beat up. So they was out to get me anyway.
But they ain't jump
know.
you. They ain't jump you. They just
Nah, he hit me with the pool cue. As soon as I turned around, you know, he ain't even give me a chance to fight. He blindsided me. So I was in the hospital, face looking like the Elephant Man and all that.
damn.
You know, yeah.
Must have DMX
And I had seizures after that. But that's what kind of put me in that mode.
Yeah,
you know,
that
and
mindset.
it took away my fear. See, fear sometimes protects you, man. You know, it stops you from doing certain things. When you fearless, you know, you enter into anything like, you know, so what?
Yeah, but like how you said earlier, like you don't want to like be praised, so you got to be, you know, you with it. For me, like yeah, like in the streets is like that. Like if you take it farther than somebody, that's all you gotta do. And take it farther, take it a little inch farther than that person that day, and you got the upper hand. So you know, it's just damn, man.
So I went through the group homes, man, for a minute. I was up in the Bronx. I was in the group home in Soundview. I was up on 241st Street, White Plains Road. I went to 2 high schools in the Bronx, Evander Childs and Walton on Kingsbridge Road. You know, and when I was up there, I was like, yo, I'm from Brooklyn. You know, back then, where you
I'm
from?
Brooklyn now.
Yeah. So, and I was accepted, man, because I was a cool dude. I ain't want no problems. I wasn't trying to be over rambunctious and start trouble.
But you don't like. All right, I think that the group homes like grown people for jail, like groom you, like.
That's what I keep trying to say.
That's what
and DMX song, he said, "Group home and institutions prepare my ass for jail."
Yeah, that's a fact. It just grooms you because like you in the group home, you gotta fight. Niggas trying to take your sneakers. Some niggas be trying to run down on you. It's like
he says, gladiator school.
Yeah.
It prepares you.
Yeah, it's pretty much like, it's like preparing you for that institutionalized type of thinking, you know. But what it does is you run into your independence. You know, you learn to fend for yourself. And that's what I ran into being in the group homes. You know?
So when you got out the group home, like what age?
I only spent like a year because I was tired of it. I didn't like it, you know. Most of the time that I was in the group home, like I said, I used to meet women, so I was meeting older women. And some of these older women had their own spots.
Oh, is it all right?
So I was camping out over there. Like I said, I don't like being around a bunch of dicks. It's too many dudes in this household, in this group home. You know, so I was camping out at older women's houses.
Shout out to the older women you was camping out there.
No
Shout out. I ain't going front. So the older women know how to take care of nigga. They cook for you and all that. You want Tom's baby? What? Nah, that's just crazy though.
But there used to be a welfare hotel down on 34th Street. A lot of people don't know about, and this used to house a lot of young men that was neglected by their parents, didn't have parents. They was all in this welfare hotel called the Martinique on 34th Street, right there around where the Macy's is at, right? Herald Square area, right? If I'm not mistaken. That Macy's on 34th Street. What they call that area? Herald Square, right?
I don't really know.
Yeah,
Man,
but
I'm
anyway,
from Brooklyn.
it was a Martinique hotel. Dude from the Bronx. Charles, don't know where he's at right now, but he was a quiet dude. He came to me one day. He's like, "Yo, you want to make some money?" I was like, "No doubt. You talking my language." we trying to make some money. He was like, "Be ready at around 11, 12 o'clock at night." I was like, "Oh, all right." We went down to 34th Street, went to the welfare hotel, went to one of the rooms in there. It was dudes in there that was around like 13, 14, 15, 16, from Brooklyn, Bronx, Queens, all over, right? I ain't know what was going on. You know, they in there smoking, drinking, but I noticed they had furs, all type of appliances and everything.
Detroit shit, yeah. First,
So what happened was, certain time they just pulled it all together and was like, "Yo, it's that time." My man came with a bag full of tools, right? Sledgehammer in there, all type of stuff you chisel shit out with. They was breaking into high-end stores in Midtown Manhattan. No alarms on the back walls of these stores. They would chisel out the bricks.
That's a movie
and then
shit.
take the sledgehammer and knock it out. They had it running like clockwork. They had walkie-talkies, all of that. And I was like, yo, this is really survival right here, man. These dudes are surviving and it's organized. And I'm like, these is kids. You know?
Yeah, but back then,
So you stop looking at yourself as a kid and you start thinking like a grown man.
Yeah, you had to, cause like you had to, cause like how you said, like mad people parents was sprung out on that shit, so they had to, you had to step up.
Yeah.
At a young age and shit.
Yeah.
Damn, man. So what led you up to like catching that, like that time, that case and shit for me. So walk us through that.
Let's get into it.
What actually happened was I finally got my diploma, once I got out the group home.
What age was this? What age was this?
I was like 16,
Okay.
like 15, 16. So I didn't really like going to school, to tell you the truth. Like it wasn't really a challenge. I wasn't dumb. I could read and write very well. So it wasn't a challenge for me. So I didn't see the point in sitting in a class because the public schools they weren't really attentive to the children in the class. You know what I'm saying? It was more like a hangout. It was more like a fashion show when you go to school, So I didn't feel a need to be there. I wanted to make money. So, but after I got out of the group home, I told my mom. My mom said, "Yo, why don't you get your diploma? Do it for me." And I love my moms. You know what I'm saying? Good woman. And I got my diploma. And after I got that, it was like I felt so good. Like I achieved something. I was like, man, you can take it a little further. And what happened was I didn't want to go to college. I wanted to make some money. So I wanted to work. Yeah. So a lady that I met in the group home, she took a liking to me. She helped me.
You was smashing that? You was smashing that, my phone? You smashing that?
I wasn't smashing it. I don't know if she's still alive. Pat Perkins.
Shout out to
worked
Pat.
for CGS, Catholic Guardian Society, with the people that ran the group home. She had a liking for me. It was a liking there. I'm gonna leave it at that. She lived in Soho.
Okay.
Had a Harley Davidson, lived in a loft apartment and all that. That's part of what, all of that balanced me out. It exposed me to different things. And I saw where I could fit in. Even though I was a little kid, hard-headed from Brooklyn, I still had mannerisms. That's one thing my mother taught me. And my grandfather, he taught me that. Be a gentleman. You have to be a gentleman before you anything else in life. So I always held on to that. Yes, thank you. Excuse me, man. Pardon me. I give you respect until you show me you're not worthy of respect. So that's what was going on at that time. But I got my diploma and I wanted to do more. So I got the resumes together and I was trying to find a job. And trying to find a job was just hard in New York at that time, man, especially for a young kid. And what happened was a friend of mine worked in the mailroom at Channel 11, right? And he was like, come, interview, probably get the job. And I was hyped about that, and I wanted the job. And a guy that went in before me, right, he got the job.
Damn. You didn't get it.
I didn't get it. Damn. And I was disappointed. And this is where that father figure to, embrace you and give you a little wisdom, it wasn't there. So I was confused. Like, I seemed like I was winning when I was doing bad. Now that I'm doing good, and I'm trying to do positive things, it's not turning out that way. So it seemed like I was struggling. So I resorted back to what I was doing, hanging out, partying, and the thing that happened, what really took me down that path, is Studio 54 one night. I was in there.
Where's Studio 54? What is that?
Studio 54 was a club.
Okay.
In Manhattan. All right. So I was in there, and again, a fight or flight situation came. Big diesel dude. I was only about 155 pounds then, 160 pounds. Bumped me. Boom. What's up? These people's gathered around me. What's up? Son got a problem? What up? And I seen what they was trying to do. They was trying to jump me. So, like I said, I'm dolo. But I knew people in there. So I tried to, ain't no problem. Everything good, man. Tried to step off. They hit me up with a razor. Bam. Caught me right here. This is where I got this blast mark.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So I already know what time it is. I got to get out of here because if they circle me, they surround me, it's going to get real crazy. So I swung back, hit them, tried to dip through the crowd. They was on me. Cut me right here. So when it's all said and done, crowd opens up. I didn't know I was cut.
Yeah.
You know, because, razor cut.
Rushing,
you don't feel that.
You feel that.
You don't feel that. So I finally see somebody that I knew. And I'm like, yo, try to jump me, man. Who? Over here. Come on. I'm ready to fight now. My adrenaline's pumping. I'm fearless. So I'm ready to go in. They over here. So when I start walking that way, my man was like, yo, D. Oh, hold up. Like, yo, what's up, man? Come on. Like, you riding with me or you gonna sit here? And he said, you cut, man. No, I'm not. You cut, man. And I looked down, blood, everything bloody. And I still walked around studio. I was so pissed off. I walked around the whole club with my face open like this wide.
What was your man?
Neck
What was your man?
and cheek open, looking like a pussy. That's how open it was. It looked like that. Dang. And I walked around the club. I'm still ready to fight. You know.
Where was your man at? This whole shit. Where was your man at? He was like in the club, or you left the club?
He was in the club, but I didn't come with him.
Okay, oh yeah. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I knew people in the club. So I'm walking around the club. Bouncers follow me because, and I left. And I laughed about it. I was like, all right, they got that one. They wasn't nowhere to be found. I was walking around looking for them, but that's how that went. But when I was healing up, I stopped all activity of doing what I was doing because I was in a place where I was really reevaluating my life and what was going on. So somebody came from out of town, a neighborhood friend of mine, and he said, yo, I'm getting money out of town. It ain't that wild out there. You need to come out, see what's going on.
Where you was at? Out of town where?
I went to Philadelphia.
Shout out to Philly.
First we was in DC.
Oh, yeah, man, them DC niggas, man.
We went to DC, right? But the thing was, DC at that time, I was only out there for a few hours. You could smell death in the air.
Nah, yeah.
You ever go somewhere?
Like New York niggas out here anyway.
You could smell death. Like
back in the day, I don't know about now.
You can't make money out here. You gonna wind up either getting bodied or you gonna have to do something to somebody. And like I said, I really ain't want no problems, but I'm gonna protect myself.
What year was this?
This was 87, 88.
Oh, yeah. DC was crazy.
87, 88. They was like the murder capital then.
Yeah.
New York was, I think, they was the murder capital right before then. So New York was going to like Baltimore. They was going to DC. They was going to Philly, And at that time, it was a whole different way of going about getting money, man. It was a whole different way. Like you come in regulating. You find out who the opposition is and you trying to wipe them out. So it was really a serious game then, man. It was nothing to be played with.
That's the why in real life.
Yeah, it was nothing to be played with back then. And that's what I was exposed to. So it was like it got real serious real quick, for me. Going out of town, getting jumped in the club at that time. It changed my whole mindset, man. Changed my whole mindset.
Damn, man, yeah. I just imagine. Yeah. You're still a young boy at this time.
Yeah.
And mind you, like you still a young boy, 16, 15, around that age. Come
Yeah.
on.
All that, yeah.
That's too much to impact in the group
Shootouts. Yeah, because when I came out of town, we making money. Come out of town, I come around my neighborhood, jewelry on, stuff like that. We in the park. It's part of Brooklyn called the Veer, And the Veer was pretty much, they had the mindset of Brownsville.
Oh,
You know, they was kind of grimy.
Don't say that.
Back then.
Fellas, don't
You
meet
know.
no girl from Brownsville. She from
Yeah.
Brownsville. Don't go over there. Tell her Uber. I'm not coming over there.
Yeah. So we in the park, dudes come around and it's like, who got the jewelry? Who got the jewelry? You know, and they kept walking. But later on, we saw them. So, you know, street mentality, you know, we react. And it was a whole shootout and everything over that. So it was just a lot of, I think back to it now, like I don't glorify any of that, but I attach it to part of what made me evolve as a man.
You are.
You know what I'm saying? Because I was in that. It wasn't like I saw it, somebody else doing it, and I tried to mimic it, and I thought it was cool. I was in that. And it's not a cool place to be because you always on defense and you on high alert at all times. You can't relax.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Can't relax. It's intense, man.
That's how I be saying. Oh, like man, to be having beef. I'm like, bro, I got still beef. You can't go nowhere. So that's why people don't like going nowhere. Like people don't like going nowhere because they got so much beef. Like a dude like me, nah, I can't do that. So,
Yeah,
like,
it's no way to
come
live,
on.
man. It's no way to live at
when
all.
you was younger, all right. When you older now,
Yeah.
you reach 25 and up, bro. Come on, nigga, trying to go out, trying to go to brunch. You trying to come on, man.
Fact.
Trying to clap me when I'm drinking my mimosas.
Yeah.
Like for real, like
Yeah.
for real.
And you know, somebody just got clapped up at Grace funeral home, man. Went
Word?
to a funeral. They shot the man on the steps. I don't know what he was into, but damn.
People pass, catch it with them too, man. It's your
Yeah,
past, man. You
yeah.
can't be out here. It's your past too, man. Yeah, so that was the thing that led you like to catch your case and stuff. Like at that time,
Yeah,
Right.
well, I was in Philadelphia. I thought it was all about the money.
yeah.
You know, I wanted to make money. So, you know, the money was coming fast. It was easy. And you know, it was the crack game, man. Crack game in the 80s was
Yeah, the crack
Yeah,
game, period.
it was,
Isn't it?
whew.
But yeah, in the 80s, yeah,
man.
90, yeah, it's
You
crazy.
know,
I heard about that.
You wipe away all the technology you got now and you able to have full reign and do it how you want to do it. And that's what I got caught up in Philadelphia.
Damn. So you got caught with the crack shit. So how much time you got for
Nah, it
something
wasn't.
like that?
What actually happened was we was supplying a house.
Yeah,
You know, we was supplying a house with what we was supplying it with.
yeah.
And it was competition, but we was from New York. So, you know, we had the better product and all of that. So we stealing customers, you know.
Yeah, tip and tat shit.
Yeah,
Man.
and
He don't like that shit right there.
yeah, they don't like that. You know how you
Jumping down with
what's
them
his
niggas.
name? Rico, Rico,
down with
eating a
them
banana and all that. Yeah, I don't like that.
don't like
somebody
that.
somebody got to stop that right there. Yeah, them New York dudes. Yeah. You gotta get
It
rid of
really
them.
be like that, son. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
son.
So like you said, I was on high alert. You know, I was on military time. Like that's how I
As you should.
surveilled
You out
things
there.
and all that. I'm in a foreign land. Unfortunately, the dude that I was with, he wasn't on that type of time. You know, and he was letting people around. So the one person that he let around, who I didn't trust, you know, sabotaged the whole situation. And a body was found in the house. Yeah. And they put it on us. Yeah. No eyewitness, no gun, nothing. You know, no fingerprints, no forensic evidence, nothing. All they used was the big bad drug dealers from Brooklyn, New York. They govern the streets of Philadelphia by fear and this and that. And if you're not scared of crack, and if, you know, it was a war on drugs at the time anyway. So anything you pitch to a juror,
Yeah.
whether they
Ronald
black
Reagan
or white,
made that shit the
about
one
crack,
drug, yeah.
because people's family members were strung out on crack. So if they looking at the crack dealer, they automatically don't like you.
Yeah. Trying to slay
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Yeah. So they don't listen. Jurors don't listen to evidence, and I couldn't believe to this day that I was actually convicted on fabricated evidence, lies, and all of that. And the thing was, I found out later on how it was all put together. It's a whole bunch of corruption.
So what was your mind state of getting grabbed up for that? For me, like, walk us through that. Like, what is your mind state?
How long they gave you?
Like,
They gave me life without parole, man.
Dang.
They didn't even give me a sentence in hearing. I was given a mandatory life without parole sentence. They didn't consider mitigating factors. That was the first time I was ever locked up for anything.
so you took it to trial, or you just like?
Yeah, I went to trial because I was like,
So what was your first? So what was your first offer? What was your first offer?
they didn't give me an offer.
So what they charge you with? They charge all y'all with that drink, or just?
They charged me and my neighborhood buddy.
Yeah.
Who at the time he was living in Brownsville, even though he's originally from Flatbush. But they charged both of us. But the thing was, it was another individual that was mentioned that people were saying did it.
Okay.
But this individual was from Philadelphia.
Oh, okay. So
And the main witness that was coming to court didn't see anything, but she fabricated a story where she was saying, I told her I bodied somebody. I never had a conversation with this woman in my life.
So what age was you around that time? You got to tell the audience.
I was
your age.
17.
17.
I was 17, man.
That's crazy.
So they charged you with
17.
murder in the first degree?
They charged me with first-degree murder, possession of an instrument of crime, and conspiracy.
17 years old, man.
Yeah,
Damn, son.
17 years old.
Damn, man. So just walk us through like your mindset, just like going to trial and all that. Like,
My mindset at the time was, yo, I didn't do it, so I don't have nothing
you
to worry
should, yeah.
about, you know? And older dudes, you know, I was always taught, you know, you plead the fifth, man. You know, you don't say anything.
yeah, you can't, bro.
Because they take what you tell them and they twist it
And use it against you.
or whatever and use it against you. So
Fact.
I was like, I'm not saying anything because I actually didn't know what happened. I wasn't actually there to see who did what. I just know that I was involved in a culture that led up to that. So a part of me was taking responsibility somewhat because I was dealing crack. You know?
I take everything that come with it. So what about your Cody? Like your Cody kept it solid too on his end. Your Cody,
Oh man, that's a
Oh man.
he hold it down.
What you say? Let's talk about it.
Oh, man.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, man. Yeah, it's yeah, that was a bad thing right there because I really felt as though I was protecting him. You know,
He was older than you.
he was older than me.
So, oh man,
He was older than me.
He's supposed to protect you.
This is what I'm talking about. This so-called code of the street and keeping it silent and all of that. I was the epitome of that, man. I pled the fifth. You won't find a statement. You won't find anything where I said nothing. I pled the fifth. How Dave Chappelle said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember the skit? Yeah.
I don't know nothing.
Talk to my lawyer. Questioning over.
You get in
You
that
know.
room, go to sleep.
Because you're not here to help me.
Yeah, they not. They
not here
they
to
gonna
help
lie
me.
to you, rock you to sleep,
Yeah.
and
They
just
act
want
like
the
they your
conviction.
friend and all that.
Yeah.
Because they actually flew me back. You know what I'm saying? Into Philadelphia. And the detectives picked me up. They was like, yo, we know you didn't do it.
They flew you back.
They
I'm
flew me
lost.
back. Because we didn't get arrested
Oh, in Philly, I got
in
arrested.
Philadelphia.
Oh, I got arrested.
You know what I'm saying?
Back in the town.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got arrested in another town. And a homicide warrant,
So
a
they
fugitive
expedited
warrant
y'all.
was put out.
Damn.
So they arrested me for this one time. I didn't say anything, right? They held me for 2 weeks. I got a lawyer. They came one day when I'm in the county, packed your stuff up, you out, you know? So I was like, I asked my lawyer, like, what's up with that? You know? He's like, well, if you ain't had nothing to do with it, you ain't do anything, don't worry about it, man. They come for you again, I got you. So I was working at the time. I was laying sand. I was doing construction, you know, because after that incident, that that like
Yeah.
straightened me up. I was like, nah, that's a little bit too much. I ain't know a homicide is coming with just trying to get some fast money. You know, I was just trying to get some fast money. And they came again. And I ain't see.
So you was out on bail? You was out on bail behind that?
They didn't give me any bail. They didn't have enough to charge me. So what it is, they started fabricating, getting people to say, oh, we had a conversation with him. But they never had a conversation with me. You know? And I didn't know that that's all it took. You know, that may not work in New York City.
Yeah,
but in Philadelphia,
That's
Pennsylvania is very corrupt, man.
You see, Meek Mills, he's on probation for 11 years.
Crazy. Very corrupt.
It's crazy. Damn, so
they have a district attorney out there, and you know, big ups to him because he freed like 24 people who were wrongfully convicted during the time that my case happened. What was it? He said from like the mid 80s to the mid 90s that homicide detectives were pinning homicides on young black men in Philadelphia. Known fact.
So how long you end up doing?
Yeah.
I did 31 years, man.
Dang.
31 years. 17.
So what was your mindset when you got hit with that time? Like they said you blew trial and you got caught. So what was your at that time? Like you 17, you looking at him like, yo, life in jail. Like you looking at him like I couldn't imagine.
I couldn't believe it, man.
Yeah, it's just like, what?
It was like a surreal moment. I was like, are they serious? But I knew they was serious. I was like, they actually talking about me dying in jail, man. For this?
I've been on some dead press shit.
For this?
Like, this is just crazy, son. That's
wild. I gotta take a moment to just salute you being here right now, man. Out here living your life, man.
You
beat
came
that.
out of there.
You here.
The wild thing about it is, at my trial, the trial judge actually looked at me like, I know you ain't do this, man. And I told my mother, man, after they convicted me, because I took a jury trial, so the judge couldn't say too much. He had to impose the mandatory life without parole sentence. But at the trial, while this woman is testifying that she talked to me, my lawyer he's questioning her, and you could clearly tell she's lying. You know, she's frustrated, she's getting defensive, ratchet ass Philly, and I kind of understand maybe she was under the pressure of the prosecutor, because the prosecutors do that. You know, they grab women up, and if the woman has a case or something like that, something minor, we gonna take your kids if you don't do what we want you to do. So come to find out, that's what was done in my case. He threatened her to come and testify, or she was gonna lose her kids or whatever. But the judge looked at me, I told my moms, I said, he's gonna give me a new trial. He's gonna give me a new trial, because I saw in his eyes. You know how you lock eyes with somebody, and it's like, they looking at you like, I know you ain't do this, man.
So when did they give you the new trial? Like how long did it?
I didn't even have to go on appeal. They have a thing called post-verdict motions, right? Where after you're convicted, you get to bring your issues as to why this conviction shouldn't have taken place. You know what I'm saying? So it went before that same judge, and guess what? That judge gave me a new trial. He said, y'all had nothing on this man. All this shit is hearsay. You know, and the hearsay is coming from the one-time girlfriend of the co-defendant. And that's how I know the dude that I was out there with, he actually set me up. He lined me up with the people from Philly to try to save his ass and throw me under the bus.
No rules in this shit. Yo, kids, stay out the streets, man. There's no rules in this shit, man. There's no rules.
Not at all. Not at all.
There's no honor among thieves, right? That's what they say. This is crazy, son.
Especially when them charges come.
So they just gave you 31 years flat? They gave
me life without parole. I was expected to die in jail.
Yeah.
At 17, I was expected to live my whole life in jail and expire
Unknown caller.
in jail.
Damn,
that's crazy.
Man. Damn, so you got the another trial. When you got the another trial, like around when? Like
I didn't even get the other trial because in the law game, everybody has rights. So the prosecutor has a right to appeal.
Yeah.
So if the prosecutor appeals, guess what? The new trial gets put on hold, and then they go to a higher court and argue why you shouldn't have a new trial. So they added something into the facts that wasn't in the facts, and in the superior court, they flipped it back on me and gave me the life sentence all over again.
Yeah. So how was it in there? Like how was it in there? Like you know, like your first year, because you're a young boy, 17, coming in there, grown ass man. You got the L with you. I
was so upset. Like my heart was cold, man.
So I can imagine.
Like my heart was cold. I was like, I can't believe they did this shit to me, man.
That's real.
You know, I'm my mom's only child and all that. So my mom's is hurting. She's crying. That's the only time that I cried in 31 years. When I first got convicted and I called my mom's from the county jail and she started crying. Wow. I ain't cried while I was on the phone, but after I got off the phone, that shit hit me. Just hearing her cry.
So did you have like older guys like to take you under their wing, like to try to, you know, like, yo, young boy, you young coming in 17, like older guys take you under their wing, like, yo, don't go over there, don't hang with them dudes, stay away from these dudes. Like you had that going in there, or?
I think in there, nah. It was probably one dude who told me, right? He said, stay in that law library. He said, stay in that law library, young brother. He said, because they don't convict you without violating you somewhere. You know, so you got to find where that violation occurred and you got to push it. And it's not going to be an easy fight.
Yeah, it ain't going to be an easy fight.
You know what I'm saying? He said
it's
it's not
easy to go
going
to
be
jail,
an
but
easy
it's
fight.
hard to get out, man.
It's hard to get out. 31 years I did, man.
Damn.
So you ain't joined no gang and none of that. You was in there, you joined the gang?
Nah, I didn't. Like I said, I wasn't really with all of that. Like the gang activity, none of that. You know, so.
But where you at though? What jail was you in?
I went to Holmesburg Prison, right? Very old prison.
Yeah.
Where that's at?
It's in Philadelphia County. That's one of the jails that I was in. I was in House of Corrections, then I was in Holmesburg. Those are both county jails. Okay. Very nasty jail. You know what I'm saying? Where roaches all over the place, mice are all in your cell at night, eating your commissary up. You know? So it's no place to be. No place to be whatsoever. It's like a dungeon. Anybody who knows Holmesburg Prison will tell you, they like, yo, he ain't lying. Matter of fact, he's not exaggerating it enough. Yeah.
Crazy.
So you just stayed to yourself in there? You just stayed to yourself? You ain't really mingle people? You just was like working out for me? So where's your mindset in there? Like for me, like let's say like how did you get past the day in there? Like what was your
my
routine?
first thing was to try to get into that law library.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, I read and write very well. So my whole thing was, to fight. It was like, yo, my life is on the line. I got to fight, man. That's the only thing that was going to keep me going, fighting. So I was in the law library looking for loopholes, looking for ways out, trying to connect with other dudes who was trying to do the same, and we build on that.
But they be having like jailhouse lawyers in there, right? Like,
yeah,
that show. You remember the show? What was the show called? Life for Life with the guy like a jailhouse lawyer.
Yeah, became a real lawyer.
Some of them, they give you some good direction. Then you have other ones that are trying to hustle. You know, they want to sell you a dream just like any other lawyer.
Yeah, get that money. Yeah,
and then say, hey, in jail it's cartons of cigarettes. Yeah, give me like 2 cartons. I got you. I'll file that brief for you. But the best thing is to stay on top of your business and research your case yourself.
Yeah, cause dudes nowadays they getting high in there, smoking K2 on live, and all that shit. Niggas is like.
Well, Holmesburg was gladiator school, man. Every other day somebody was getting stabbed up. You ever hear Beanie Siegel?
What's your life
where
like?
He talking what's your life like?
Yeah.
With the where he talked about what he was saying, the push rod for the toilet.
Yeah.
It was about this long.
Yeah.
About this long. Dudes somehow got that out, sharpened it up, and rap it, and they going to work. And there was somebody getting stabbed like every other day. All you hear is going down both sides. Secure residence, secure. I could still hear that ringing in my head to this day.
Actually, I remember this question.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because it was bad. It was bad.
So how you was able to, like, you know, just keep a level head, you know what I mean? Like, not lose it, you know what I mean? Like, you know, a lot of people in those circumstances, like, just try to pack it up.
Hung it up. Some people try to hang it up.
Once again, I give a lot of props to my moms, man. My moms was there. She was there. She was sending me books. You know, I was reading. And that's the only way you free your mind in there is by, you have to read. You have to believe in something. I always believed that I was getting out of there. I said, this can't be happening. This ain't the end all here, man.
Man. So I know, like, you seen guys come and go. So you seen the young boys coming there acting tough, like thinking they hard, then they get, feel me? So tell us the situation about that. Well,
I was the young dude at the time.
Yeah.
And I was tested, and like I said, I was a fighter. So here it is. I'm fighting grown men at 17. Holding myself down, and it gets like that because you have predators in jail.
Yeah.
You have people that prey on
the weak.
They think they could prey on the youth, or if they see you weak or whatever. And until you prove otherwise, you might just become a victim. And like I said, I'm not about being the victim. So I was fighting.
And when you got up in age, right? Like, you seen the young boys like coming, like, did you take any young boy in your wing? Like, yo, bro, for me?
Plenty.
Yeah. Because you came in there at a young age.
Because when you evolve, man, it's like, you don't want that for anybody else, man. If you see somebody making the same mistakes that you made, you try to prevent them from making that mistake. So I wasn't one to try to pull every young dude over and school them, because it's not time. The timing for everybody to be schooled is different. But if a young dude comes my way and we develop a bond, and I see that he's trying to change or he's doing something that's detrimental to the end result of getting out of it, because everybody wants to get out of there. Nobody wants to be in there. So I school plenty of them on how to go about maintaining your composure, getting out of here, man. Don't lose sight of getting back to freedom in your family, man.
Yeah, because, like, my opinion on jail, I look at jail now, like, they be oppressing some of their own people. Like, if you not blood, you can't use the phone certain time, or you gotta, if you're not in this game, you can't come out at a certain time. I'm like, yo, it's like, I'm already in jail, and, like, y'all trying to oppress, like, come on, man.
So why would they care, though? To me, I'm like, why would you know what I mean? I think it's a struggle to be righteous in jail. You got dudes out here in the free world already on demon time, making it hell for people out here trying to live right. So if you in jail and you already, some people don't have a strong mom, strong family, nothing. So they in there. Why would I don't care about the next man. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, you gonna meet more people in there that don't care. I don't care about your well-being and making sure you safe and all that. Like, why would they? Right? Half of the people in there, I feel like they already hung it up, and not on some, like, literally hanging it up, but just mentally, like, I don't care about righteousness no more. Like, they playing on those rules.
Yes, but
and that's what it come with.
That's different. Like, you not blood, you can't use his phone. Not like, that's different. Let's say me and you neutral. We go in there and go off bed. We go in there. 9 o'clock. You not blood. You can't use his phone. So that's a problem. Like, yo, I gotta call back home. What are you talking about? So that's a.
That's what I feel like. That's what he was saying. It's like, you gotta prove it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's not the regular world no more.
That's why I'll be like, I ain't gonna front. Cause my little brother in jail right now, and he just came out to the box and shit for me. So shout out to my little brother Bryce, free Bryce,
Bryce,
and he got into it. I wasn't mad, but my mom's was mad. I'm like, Ma, you can't be mad because he in there. You gotta feel me. You gotta protect yourself. That's what I'm saying. Just like. And it's messed up that we doing that to each other. Like, yo, you come on for a color, bro. Like, me, you serious? I'm not a certain time I gotta check. Come on, bro. So I understand. That's what I'm saying. So, like, people like, yo, people still bugging in jail. Not people bugging. There's people tired of getting oppressed. They tired of really oppress niggas. Like, and come on, like, I'm not with that, man.
Nah, like I said, I was never, I was never with the gang activity or any of that, And I don't have any problem with people organizing, but if you're gonna organize, man, like, try to make a difference and like try to affect your community in a way where you providing, you uplifting the children, you trying to like evolve past whatever it was that you went through that wasn't really that cool, man.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
It's bullshit.
But we don't have a lot of older guys like that, like to try to take a young boy under the wing and show him different.
Yeah.
These younger guys, like for me, I ain't gonna front. These older guys ain't want that. They want you to go to jail because they want to take your spot. It's like competition.
It's or they want you to go because, you know what I mean, they already went through that. So it's like I know some people who like, because it was so rough for them coming up, that they don't like seeing you elevate and change. So it's like, damn, I done did 20 years or 30 years or like for this same type of cause. And now y'all talking about peace and positivity. It's like, nah, I done did 20 years for the set or 20 years for the, you know what I mean, for the culture out here. Now y'all gonna try to clean this up. Like, what about me? And there's people out here that's like that. It's like, nah, I don't want y'all to, change stuff. It's like, what about me? I went through it, so it's foul.
Yeah, so
I always say if people had if they felt as though they had another choice, man, they wouldn't do what they doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, who wants to be in the streets selling drugs, man, looking over your back, worried about somebody robbing you, shooting you, worried about the cops and all that? Who really wants to go through that type of shit?
Man, you don't want to go through, but the dude that's in Beverly Hills living a good life, he want to go through that. He just want to see how I feel. That's the
you want to boom somebody and gotta worry about their family getting at you.
A lot of people don't think that deep. They
like,
don't think that deep in head. They just thinking for the moment. Like nowadays, this era, they thinking for 15 minutes of fame the moment. They're not thinking about you got to move your family. You got to get a paid lawyer. They're not even thinking about the paid lawyer. They ain't thinking about none of that. They just thinking about, listen, I'm gonna get a little clout and niggas gonna say free me, and that's it. That's all they thinking about. They're not thinking about that. But let's bring it back. So how did you come home? Like for me, like what was your like?
Well, I came home because there was a nationwide ruling.
Okay.
A man named Brian Stevenson, who was a lawyer, he really like challenged the system with a case, Alabama versus Montgomery versus Alabama.
Okay.
Where this kid was sentenced, how I was sentenced, to a mandatory life without parole, sentence. And it was cruel and unusual punishment all day long. That's cruel and unusual punishment. How can you do that to a child, man?
Yeah.
How can you do that to a child who never been locked up before in his life? How can you not consider mitigating factors, which are factors that work to his favor to say that he shouldn't be given this type of sentence? How do you just give somebody life without parole, man?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? When you have
he's a minor, you know what I mean? It's crazy.
When you have adults who get 15 to life, 25 to life after a sentencing hearing, how do you do that to a child, man? Just giving a mandatory life because we were considered good investments. You know what I'm saying? Good investments to fill the jails up where you don't have to worry about health problems for another 30, 40 years. Because that's the thing when they incarcerate you, right? After a while, the cost of maintaining your health starts to kick them in their ass. You know what I'm saying? Like 50, 60, he need a heart operation. He needs to, you in the custody of care of the state.
Mm-hmm.
So they got to take care of that.
Yeah, that's a fact.
You see what I'm saying? So if you have younger people in there filling those cells up and you making X amount of dollars for each head, and that's what it was about. It wasn't about justice.
So how you feel like when you first got out? Because you went in, what year you went in again?
That was 1988.
You came out what year?
I came out and I was supposed to be out in 2012.
Yeah.
But guess what?
2012 was a
After
bad
that,
year,
because
man.
that's when that ruling came down, where everybody was supposed to be resentenced and let out.
Yeah.
You know, but Pennsylvania, they wanted to challenge it. They wanted to challenge the retroactivity of the ruling, knowing damn well it was retroactive. But they were so hell bent and stubborn and not wanting to let anybody out.
And you black too. You ain't know that's a
So that dragged on for another 7 years. I got out in 2019.
Damn.
2019.
So when you got out, right? Like I know it was a big change. I know you like because when you went in, like, did y'all have tokens for the train for me and all that shit? Did y'all have all that?
Man, they didn't even have cell phones. None of that.
That's what I was
man.
trying to say. So now you
None
got
of
the
that.
phone.
When I went in, they had beepers, man. They had
So how was
beepers.
that? Like
where you
how
beep
was that?
somebody and you see
Yeah,
the
I know,
number,
I know.
and if you got a cord on, you go to the payphone and call them back.
Hold on, 2, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a huge time
So
difference.
how
man.
was like?
Or they
like,
had, I think they had what were those big phones that look like
I don't know,
walkie-talkies? Yeah.
Bro, to be honest, I wasn't even born. I was born 95. I'm saying,
you wasn't
I
even born.
Me growing up, like me and my brothers used to see a picture.
Yeah.
And then my grandma told the story about you. Then I ain't gonna front. You came home, and then we went out to eat. I'm like, oh, that was the dude from the picture all these years. I'm like, oh, nah.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
man.
crazy. So, like, you coming back in 2019, like, I already know that this like a different, like, you got the phone, you got FaceTime. I know you was like, what the
But
fuck is this?
I read so much because anybody that was in there with me, they tell you, they were like, yo, DEMETRiUS told me that he was getting out of here. So I will always stay abreast as to what was going on out here in society. I had magazines coming in, on technology. I'd ask questions, all of that. And like I said, it was a support system, man. If you don't have any support is so valuable in life, period, man.
Yeah.
You can have all the talent in the world. If you don't have a good support system, you probably won't go anywhere, man. So it'd be wasted talent. You probably won't go anywhere.
So what's the first thing you did when you came home?
How many dudes I met in there that could draw, could write.
Yeah.
You had dudes writing movie scripts, in there.
Yeah, man. Free the guys, man. Free everybody that's innocent, man.
Ball players that should have been in the NBA, man. You see them running ball in the yard. Going to lock up in the bathroom. That's what I call it. I ain't call it a cell. It's a bathroom.
Yeah.
Sleeping in the bathroom, a bunk bed in the bathroom.
Your story is so important, son, because, like, you could talk to these kids, not, like, they feeling to go to jail. Like, some dudes want to go to jail, I think, like, to learn how to be a man. And, bro, it's sad to say it like that, but some dudes, they have no father figure, and they feel like they go to jail, that's them being a man, like, to learn how to be a man.
And this is why when you look at movies, you never see a movie depicting all the foul shit
that happens
that
in
comes
yeah.
with being incarcerated, man. You don't see how you got to strip down.
Yeah.
How it's degrading. You got another man, looking, into the crack of your ass.
Man.
Telling you to squat and cough just to go see your family. Telling you can't kiss your girl on a visit. You can't have that type of, that human contact. You got property in your cell. They come in there and just run through your shit.
Yeah.
While you standing outside the cell, cuffed up in your boxes, lined up with a whole bunch of other dudes.
Yeah.
They don't tell you about all that. They don't tell you about how nasty the food is.
No, it's a fact. So
None of that.
All right, so when you came home, right? So what was the first thing that you did? The first thing when you touched down, what's the first thing you did when you came home? Like, you got something to eat, what you did?
I think I just laid down on the bed, man. It was like, I looked at the ceiling like, yo.
I'm back. What it do, baby?
I'm here. Yeah.
How the lady treating you, though? When you came back, I already know you came back.
Ready.
I already know.
I came back, man. It was all about just being a responsible man, and not doing anything or involving myself in an activity that would lead me back in there. You know,
Respect.
I came home, I got me a Capital One card, start building my credit up. You know what I'm saying? I was on the Iron Horse for a minute. I immediately got off of that.
Yeah.
'Cause it seemed
I
like-
seen you out there, my boy.
I was like, I got on the train, it seemed like all the mental health, you know, and it's
yeah,
sad
it's crazy. Yeah,
because
yeah.
I didn't, when I left,
Yeah.
that wasn't really going on. I used to see it on the inside behind the wall, you know, but to see it out here and to be on the train and I was like, nah, I got to get off.
I just feel
gotta
like
get off this train.
I feel like now like
That's
mental
crazy.
health, like people that diagnosed it, like people been had it, but we ain't have a name for it. And now it seemed like now, like probably from 5 years ago, 4 years ago, like it seemed popular now. Like
Yeah.
to me, like popularized, like everybody and like it's real though. The train, people be putting
Nah,
out
for real.
they joint. I'm like, yo,
Like, you can't even
like,
rock out to the music or no more.
Yeah,
Like headphones,
yeah.
you can't do that no more.
I believe a lot of that mental health also comes from them institutional environments.
Nah,
man.
yeah.
You know, because they try so hard
To break you.
diagnose you in there as having some type of mental health problem,
Yeah.
and they feed you medication. And I believe that
A lot of guys,
medication
yeah, you
alters
gotta take
back
their
out
time,
Kanye.
take their
all
time.
because once
Kanye
they
said
take
that.
away that medication, it seems like you might go through some type of withdrawal.
Yeah.
And you don't know how that affects your brain, man. Your whole chemical
son-
makeup, man.
He was locked up, and that was his high to take pills. I'm like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? He's like, yo, man, you don't know how that shit feel to be in here, son. Don't judge me. And at the end of the day, I looked at him like, yeah, you're right. Who
Because
am I
a
to judge?
lot of dudes had
Who am I to judge,
they
bro?
tried to cope by doing that.
Yeah. I told you. Now niggas is smoking K2, and that shit niggas is smoking K2.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
K2 will have you going out here, but in there they smoking K2 like it's nothing.
Yeah,
And
and
that
have
shit
you going in
thinking.
there. I've seen dudes bug out off of K2. Like
shit
turn
is
like a
crazy,
metamorphosis. Like you wouldn't like, oh, what happened? He just wild out.
Yeah.
That's a story of redemption for real, man.
So I
Like,
always told myself, I said, the things you do today affect your tomorrow, man.
Man.
Because I'm out here now and people are like, damn, you 52? They saying I look 35. But I told myself when I got in there, as soon as I went upstate, I said, yo, I got to preserve myself.
Yeah, it's a fact.
I got to preserve myself, you know.
Right.
I drank plenty water. I watched what I ate. I exercised, you know, and I tried to keep that stress up off me.
You don't look, bro, man. The man said you
Yeah.
don't look 50. You look like I give you 38, son. I ain't
52,
gonna,
man.
yeah.
52.
salute, man.
Yeah.
That's a blessing, son, that you overcame that, and you came back to like society, and you doing good for yourself, man. You doing good for yourself, man, for real.
Tax-paying citizen right now.
Yeah, man.
You
So
know.
what's the?
Providing health
What's next?
insurance for my little man and all that. It feels good, man.
Yeah, man. So what's next for
Feels
you, man?
good
What-
to
what's
be
next?
responsible, pay your bills, you know, manage your money right.
Yeah.
Because it's really not as hard as a lot of people make it, man. If you discipline and you don't have all these different vices, you can manage your life very well, man, and live a good life. It's a process.
Oh,
That's what
yeah.
I learned, you know, because in this, it's resilience. And it's a process that I went through, you know, reading the books, being in the law library, working. It was all a process for 31 years, but it all paid off.
I know it feel good for you, like to wake up in the middle of the night and go to Burger King if you want to. You know, if you want to, if you just want to, that's to do it. That's to do it. Like I'm doing it. Man. Like feel me? It's just-
One of my dudes, he just came home, man. Shout out to my man Gotti from Albany Projects, right? But we used to keep one another up, man. And I saw him when he first came through. I already had time in. He just came home from doing 21. You know? And I told him, I said, we was joking. I said, don't it feel good just to get up at night and open up the refrigerator and grab you some cold orange juice and chug it down like this while you standing right in front of the fridge with the light on. All you see is the light from the fridge and just like this. Man, because you wasn't able to do the simplest things, man, in there. And you appreciate it when you out here. That's why I tell people I don't have too many bad days out here, man. I'm out here.
So what advice would you give to somebody out here, that's, struggling, saying, yo, it's too hard, man. I can't find a way to eat, can't find a way to take care of my family, and they just complaining all the time. What would you tell them?
Tell them, be resilient, man. There's always a solution to your problem, man. You know what I'm saying? You just got to go within yourself and find it. Every resources are at your disposal out here, And there, your legs, you don't have your legs, really. You can't go. You can't access things on Google and research information that you need to research. Out here, you got everything at your disposal, man. If I had all of this back in 1988, I would never been doing what I was doing, man. I wouldn't have been doing that.
So much you
that's
can do.
That's what bugs me out with now. Like, why do they want to get into that now? That game is over. That was for a certain time.
Because the music, man,
they felt as though they had no other avenue.
People make it look cool. The music.
It's not enough people saying that.
They invested in jails. They invested in jail. They invested in the music. It's the same thing, hand in hand. So we gonna promote this, and then you're gonna be there. It's like, all right, you getting paid. We getting paid both ways. Fuck it.
I think people starting to lose the foundation of what dudes was getting in the streets for. Like dudes was getting in the streets to get money.
For their family, yeah.
And now it's like dudes getting in the streets. They don't even know why no more. And that's the part that's being lost right now, because you got dudes with 2 family homes making money. Like I told you last time we was in here, it's kids that's in school, doing their thing. They got everything going, but they still want to, be gangster and enjoying gangs and all. I'm like, bro, you got a mother, a father,
they didn't feel
and
that
money.
real pain. They didn't feel that real pain, that loss.
That's true.
They didn't.
They didn't been through shit.
How you gonna want to
really
do
go
that?
through shit?
A
You
mother,
go through
a father, you got money, you got clean clothes on, you got a good school. I'm like, how you still want to? It don't make
they
sense.
Talking about, I won 6 pair of Jordans.
But you gotta look at
your parents able to bless you like that.
But you gotta look at this too. A lot of dudes just want the recognition from the dudes from the old days talk about their past. So like dudes want like, yo, I want people to talk about me like that. So I want to, I want to live that too, because I could be glorified. That's what some people do that for too.
I always tell people, man, true gangster story is never told, man. So when I hear people out here talking like, and I'm not glorifying being a gangster, but I'm saying those who are really about that life, you really don't hear about them. You don't hear about them. They not talking about it.
Yeah. But nowadays, this era is different, man. Niggas
and most of those dudes that they trying to emulate and be like, them dudes is sitting in maximum security federal jails, man.
Yeah, so
never coming out the cell.
That's what I'm saying. Like, people need to come, when they come out, tell the real. Like, yo, I was in there. This shit is crazy. Like, niggas don't tell the real. People tell, yo, I was in there with my feet up. Like, people make it seem cool. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You like,
it's
a lot of people make it seem cool
for a man not to enjoy his freedom, man.
Then they got the TikTok. They be online.
Cool? What's cool?
They
What's
be
cool
online making
that?
food. I seen him doing on Feds online and in the Feds making food. He's making food, doing videos. So that's what I'm saying. Some people think it's, I'm telling you, son. I seen the little kids. They think it's cool, bro.
Well, I'm here to tell you, it's not cool, man.
I was never really feeling like a nigga like me.
It's mental torment, man. You know what I'm saying? If you're not strong mentally, that shit'll tear you apart, man.
That's why a lot of them be taking the pills, because they're not mentally
tear you
strong.
apart, man.
They're not mentally
and
in their mind.
if you hear any of those dudes talk that was really in the game out here during that era, they not glorifying that shit, man.
That's a fact.
They not glorifying none of that. And they could tell some horrific stories that some of these kids think are cool, but they haven't experienced that, man. They haven't experienced that.
Crazy.
So you think like nowadays? Do you think like, cause a lot of people say, "Yo, I'm a street nigga," but they on the internet. So you think like the streets is the internet now? Do you think that? Yeah, right. I was saying that too. Like, what about you? You think like the streets is the internet?
Definitely.
Yeah, you gotta
Because,
look at it. Cause
I mean, people not really even outside like that no more.
It's
I see you on the internet. I don't even see you on the street.
Know what I called it? Like, I called it the illusion era, man, because everything is like an illusion, man. You could
so you could fake it. You could fake it
make
now.
yourself up and fake it.
Yeah.
And somebody will believe it. Somebody will be attracted to that.
Nah,
if they don't know any better. See, I know better. Cause I come up with some of the individuals who was really into that, man.
Like growing up and stuff, like you had to earn your name. Now people come out the side, yo, I'm Shoot a Banger. What? You just name yourself. Like back in the day, you had to earn that name.
Like one of my dudes, man, just passed. Like he was like a legend out here at one time on the streets, but very humble with it. But he wasn't to be played with. You know, and this is one of the dudes that went out of town. Man, he rest in peace. He just passed not too long ago. My man Born, they called him Gold Tooth Born. You know, and I was holding him down for a second while I was in jail because that's how much I respected the fact that when he was out here and he was doing what he was doing, he held a lot of people down. And he didn't brag about it, but he was a real dude, a thinker. You know what I'm saying? And he moved fearless. But that life he lived when it was time to cool out or whatever, you know.
Yeah, man. Man. But this is part of the podcast where we do gem of the day, man. So what's your gem of the day, Ra?
I mean, even just from hearing this story, man, I want to first say thank you, man, for sharing your story.
Yeah, no doubt.
And salute to you, man, for being here and just overcoming all that. My gem of the day is to just be able to learn from people around you. I feel like that's like a lost art. Like people in this era, like we could watch podcasts. You could just talk to, like, reach out to your uncles, like reach out to your, even if your grandfather's still here, if your uncle's still here, whoever you have
family
that's
passed away, man.
See, and
some of them passed away as soon as I got home. My grandpa, I just lost my grandpops.
And that's why I want to mention that, because I feel like dudes don't. I'm not even gonna say dudes. People don't talk to their family like how they should. And I feel like even for me, like both of my grandmothers passed, and I wish that I did kick it with them a lot, but I wish I would have asked them more questions, like how their life was coming up. How did you raise my mom? Like, how did my mom, all kind of gems in our family history, but we don't talk and communicate. That's why I'm happy, bro, doing this podcast and all that, because it's like, we got to talk more. If just listening to you, my whole life just changed that fast. It don't have to take me, to know somebody for 10 years. Like, you could tell me something right now and I'm going to implement tomorrow. Like, you already going to make me be better at doing my job, because I'm just hearing your story. I'm like, I got to be more grateful. Of what I'm doing and all that. So my gem of the day is learn from everybody around you and just be more grateful that we living, we breathing, we got 2 hands, 2 legs, feet. You know what I mean? Be grateful for the small things. That's my gem.
Yeah, I always tell people, get your experiences, man. Enjoy your life, man.
Yep.
Don't make it complicated.
I'm ready to go out right now after
this.
this.
Just enjoy your life.
Yep.
Because tomorrow is not people dying out here, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
people are dying early, man.
Real.
Fact, man. My gem of the day is just like piggyback off you said, this love. You just gotta like embrace that love. Like, you feel me? Like, bro, I ain't gonna front, son. It's okay to say, bro, I miss you.
Yeah.
It's okay, yo, bro, I love you. Like, people want to be so hard. Nah, just embrace that. Because people, like you said, people dropping. Like, yo, I wish I could tell him how I really feel about him. That's what I'm saying. With me, I embrace it. Yo, I miss you, bro. I love you, bro. Like, embrace that love. Let's show that love, baby. That's all.
Hard for a lot of people to understand, like, yo, like, why I try to stay away from certain drama, and I just want to live my life on my terms. Being locked away for 31 years, how can you expect me to want to be locked in to anything. You know, I'm fluid right now. You know what I'm saying? I was out without my freedom for 31 years. And like I said, I'm trying to bring a good vibe to whoever I'm around.
Yeah.
Just let me bring my vibe. Don't try to lock me in to what it is that you want. You've been out here.
Yeah, that's a fact.
You've been out here.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's what I try to get people to understand. Like, try to understand what I've been through.
I commend you, bro, for coming home, did 31 years, and you transitioned. A lot of guys have been chasing the past. A lot of guys have been out here moving like you went in 17, they would have came out here moving like they 18, like try to be in the loop, and you always be, you feel me? You do your own thing on some grown man shit.
I was never in there mentally.
Yeah, that's what I'm
I
saying.
was
So
always out
commend you for
here,
that,
and that helped in my transition and all that. Like, I was never institutionalized. I stayed away from that. Like, even as far as, and I don't knock anybody for what they do. I'm not a judgmental dude. But I never got tattoos. In jail, a lot of people, they want to get the tattoos. I don't have tattoos. You know, I never did it. They want to get into the gang. Never did it. They wanted to gamble and play tickets and bet on football all the time. I wasn't into that.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to become institutionalized, because once you become institutionalized and you get out here, it's hard for you to function.
Yeah, so that's why a lot of people go back, because they can't function out here. They used to that program. They're used to that setting, getting up certain times. Somebody tell you what to do. Then I ain't gonna front. Sometimes people got health insurance, free, no rent. You gotta pay nothing. So some people like, yo, I got out here too much pressure, and then I can lay back, chill. So that's listen, man. It's nothing like your freedom, son. It's nothing like your freedom, bro. It's mad niggas in there. I don't want no parts of that. Me personally, I don't want no parts of that. I don't want no parts of that. So that's how I had to change up too, bro.
And I commend y'all for what y'all doing.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
trying,
saying?
every
Just
day.
to create this type of forum to be able to talk and sticking to it and knowing it, what the purpose is and what it's about. You know, talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk about it, man.
Let's talk about it.
Good interview, man.
Yeah.
A good one,
dope,
man.
That was dope.
Let's talk about the podcast, man. Wrap it up.
Yeah, that was good.